I come in this church parking lot every day. Usually it's dark when I get here and then I watch the sun come up. But today's different and we all know why. If you look behind me, you see the mountains. Normally you can see those mountains. Dark, lush green. That's not fog. That's smoke. Smoke coming from somewhere else. Canada, the wildfires in Canada. Something happening somewhere else is affecting us. And we had nothing to do with it, but we're living in the stink and the funk and the nastiness of it. Now, why is that relevant? Well, interestingly enough, we're coming up on July the 4th. There were a lot of decisions being made by a king over the ocean that were making things stinky, funky, and nasty here. And we said, you know what, we're done. We're done. We are going to defy a king, the king of this world, the one who is making things bad. We're going to leave. Our forefathers decided they're going to tear themselves away. Now, if you've never read the Declaration of Independence, it is the most defiant letter in world history to a king. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute a new government. The Declaration of Independence goes on to describe everything bad about the king and what he's doing. He has refused to assent to laws. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people. He's kept among us in times of peace armies. He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution. We have to do things we don't believe in, is what he wants us to do. He's created mock trials. He's cut off our trade. He's imposing taxes on us without our consent, transporting us beyond the seas to be tried for pretended offenses. He's taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, suspending our legislatures. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. This goes on and on to describe what this king, making these decisions far away, is doing. Happening far away, but affecting us right here, right? We live in this stink of something happening out of our control. The letter goes on and on, but it finally ends. Here's how it concludes. We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America and General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world. Supreme Judge of the world, who do you think they're talking about? For the rectitude of our intentions, do in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right, ought to be free and independent states, absolved from all allegiances to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state, Great Britain, is and ought to be dissolved. Then it comes to the conclusion. For the support of this declaration, with firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honors. Something happening somewhere else that's affecting us, that we live in. We celebrate July the 4th because of the sacrifices made by men who would stand to defy a king. And they knew it was going to be bad. It was bloody. It was long-term. It was a commitment of death and suffering, but they did it to separate themselves from evil. It's like Velcro, the tearing and the pulling away. Much suffering and sacrifice comes from it. July the 4th, what lesson do we learn? What lesson do we apply as a Christian? Well, we tear ourselves away from the prince of the powers of this world. We could write a Declaration of Independence just from the Christian standpoint. You could say, he has plundered, he has burnt our towns, he has raped our youth with greed, lust, he has stolen their innocence, he has come after our children with sexual desires, sexual themes, he wants to implant in them, butcher their bodies, he has flooded our streets with drugs. You could go on and on. The same way they defied a king, we can defy the prince of the powers of this air. They defied a king to worship a God. We can defy the prince of this air to worship the king, the God of the universe. Tear yourself away. It's never easy. There's the tearing sound. There's the Velcro sound. We declare our independence from evil. just as our forefathers did. They declared the independence from evil to come here and form a country that could worship God. Like our forefathers fought so hard that we could have this land, this place, these great churches, these places to worship all these wonderful people in this church congregation to stand together in the name of Christ. We have to declare ourselves independent from the world system that stands in opposition to Christ, that is. Our fathers did it for us so we could stand against evil. God bless you all. I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July. Thank God for what we have due to those who are willing to suffer and pay the price, to do what's right and give up everything for it.